Ask Fred Cary. Love these segments. Hello, everyone. I'm Tessa with the IdeaPros marketing team, and I have Fred Cary with me, and I'm the CEO of IdeaPros, and really just a genius as far as entrepreneurial answering of questions. We have him at our disposal today. We have several questions that people have submitted already, but if you do have a question for that, for Fred specifically along the entrepreneurial journey of products or apps to market, but could be also marketing questions, I'm here, I can help. and everything around getting your product or app to market, that's this is your avenue for that. So thank you guys all so much for being here. I see you over there, Michael and Jason, Jared, Tiffany, Lindsay, Aziza, Stephanie, thank you so much, guys. Over on YouTube as well, if you guys are watching us live, please hashtag live, and we will have, we're going to put up questions if you guys put them in the chat. So I will get to as many questions as we possibly can with Fred. So Fred, we're going to start it off right away. So the first question that
Wait, can I say hello to everybody first?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Hey, everybody.
He's like, Tessa's on a roll. Like, I have so many questions here. I'm forcing Fred to go fast. Right. So one of the questions that we had, and Anna was in our chat, so thank you for putting that up there. How long would it take to get an invention up and running?
I happen to have the answer for this.
Putting that up there. It takes to get.
You don't know. I mean, it could take 1 year. It could take 10 years. We have partners all the time that come to us that I think the longest is 15 years. That somebody was thinking of something, trying to do something with it, and finally came to us. We have other people that very opportunistically have come to us, and it's a product that is so close and so simple that you can get it in and out and go to market in a period of 9 months or so. But you know, that question really sets the stage with all the problems there are with being an entrepreneur and being quote unquote inventor, because there's so many nuances, there's so many things that you have to do. Everybody thinks that, all right, well, I've created reading glasses, so I just have to make glasses and sell them. You need to know what they're going to be made of, what they fit like, how many different types of faces there are, who are the other sunglasses companies or regular glass companies in the world, what are people buying, what are they hating, how big is that market, what is it going to cost me to get into that market. I can go on for this entire show with all the things you need to know before you start even designing the earpiece for these pieces, this piece of glassware that's going to end up on somebody's face. So if you're an inventor, I would say give up. And let me say why. Because 97% of the patents, everybody's so excited about patents, 97% of the patents that are issued in the United States never get made. 97%. Each one of those probably cost a minimum of $10,000. They never get made. And the reason is an inventor doesn't know what they're doing. They come up with an idea, they think it's, oh, this is different, this is better, I should do something with it, I'm going to invent it, and everybody's going to knock on that door back there and want to buy it from me. No, that doesn't happen. You can't be an inventor, you have to be an innovator, you have to be an entrepreneur. If you're going to take this journey and try to create something out of nothing, it is painful. You see the walls on either side of that door? Well, if you're an inventor, you're never going to make it through those walls. If you're an innovator, if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to keep bashing through those doors or those walls until there is a door there for you. So it can take forever, and it will take forever if you're an inventor and you have an invention. Normally, it will take, now I'm just going to go in generalities. If you work your ass off, it'll take 3 to 5 years for you to go from concept to a product that has a chance of making it on the shelves. For us, it's typically around 18 months. Some of our partners have been here a couple of years, and some of them are not very happy that it's taken so long, but we've had to create a door where a wall used to exist. So be prepared to work your butt off for a real long period of time and make thousands of mistakes before you're in the marketplace.
I think that's a great answer. And it actually answered some of the questions that we had, that people had in our audience. One specifically, I know, Kwame, thank you for putting that. It takes a long time to figure out your audience. Like Fred said, you're making a wall, you're making a door where a wall was. So and you don't want to do it. You don't want to hurry through this process, right, Fred? It's about doing it right. And that's one of the characteristics about Fred in general, but IdeaPros, that they don't do it just halfway. And I have another term.
I do want to correct you. You do want to hurry through the process. Everybody that I've ever encountered wants to hurry through the process, right? That's the natural inclination. Now, I've been wrong about this myself in this open kimono world that I like to live in. I have actually been too linear and too exacting because I've made a whole bunch of mistakes that can be painful. And I insist, you know, this is phase 1, task 1, task 2, task 2A, task 2B. You can be to be or not to be. You can be too linear in what you're doing, and that can affect your timelines in a way that when you're dealing with partners may not be acceptable. So for me, doing it that way is perfect. For my partner who's sitting in the background and not knowing what's going on, it can be excruciating. And so we are making some changes in the way we do things ourselves, because we know everything that needs to be done. And if I fire off on 2 or 3 different things at once, and I find out from that first thing that I used to do by itself that I have to change some things in those other 2 or 3 things that I'm doing, those changes typically are not dramatic or drastic or death-defying. They're things I can handle. So you can speed up a little bit, but as soon as you miss a turn and you don't go back and check that, you're dead.
Perfect. That was a great answer. Thank you.
So I got 2 great answers. Hold on, I'm going to write that down.
He's like, I got that. So we have a question from Jared. What are some of the challenges and pitfalls we need to avoid when thinking about international markets?
Well, the biggest one is not thinking about the national market first. Right? So,
nail it in your own hometown first.
Yeah. So the good news is, as an entrepreneur, when you first start something, the United States is a real big area, 350 or more million people. And even though we're 5% of the world's population, we're 25% of the world's economy. We're also 25% of the world's prison inmates. So that's another story we can do on another show. But the fact is that we are big in how we spend. And so you have 1/4 of the world's spending power right here in the United States. The biggest mistake you can think about with international markets is thinking about international markets. And once you've gotten a product that's really starting to penetrate the United States, then you have the capital, the wherewithal to bring in the experts that can help handle all those issues. We happen to have, those of you who work with us know that I had to spend an ungodly amount of money and a lot of tricks to get this hugely talented executive team in that didn't exist here before, except for Simon and Tessa, who are hugely talented in their own right, but we brought in a few more. And one of them is a real experts in logistics and import and export. So if you're working with us and we get to that point, then we have it covered. But again, think about your homeland, if you will, first. It's a big, huge market.
Yes, it will keep you busy for a while. Excellent. So I have another question, and this is actually from our YouTube channel. You can watch us on Facebook or YouTube. Dennis has a prototype and a patent. What is next to take it to market?
Oh, Dennis, you're going to have to see me offline. So the thing that scares me the most is a partner that shows up with a patent and a prototype. And the reason, and hopefully you're not the case, but a lot of times people will rush out, try to get a patent right away because they have that great idea that I was talking about earlier with inventors. And when you have a prototype and when you have a patent, if you haven't done all that other stuff I was talking about, market research, competitive analysis, understanding the growth of the market, the consumer demand. Where are the 1- and 2-star reviews of your competitors so you can focus your strong points on their weaknesses? You can learn that from a small little book called The Art of War that's about 3,000 years old and still applies today. How am I going to get my cool golden widget into the marketplace, and how is it going to be better than anything else? If you haven't done all that stuff first and you have a patent and a prototype, you have something that you don't know if anybody's going to want to buy. You may have a square wheel that's really beautiful but is useless, or more likely you have thought of something that really has a good possibility of getting into the market, but your patent is such that you cannot possibly manufacture this at a price point that it needs to be manufactured. And so a whole bunch of patents go by the wayside because what you've patented is not manufacturable at a reasonable point. You know, I have patented my golden widget, but it cost me $10 million to make one using the manufacturing techniques that are available in the world today. So what I would suggest for you in your particular case, if you have this stuff, you need to recheck everything before you take another step forward. You may be one of those incredible people that have instinctually done everything perfectly, that you completely understand the audience, and that you can go forward and do something with this. Let's assume you are that person. If you are and you have a patent and you have a prototype, then you can go start dealing with potential manufacturers, understand the ability that they have to produce a product for you at a reasonable cost point with low minimum order quantities. And then you need to figure out your drop shipping, your import duties, how you're going to bring this product into the country, how you're going to sell it, who you're going to go to. Are you going to deal with master distributors? Are you going to go online to Amazon? Are you going to crowdfund it? Are you so well off that you're going to go into all the big box stores immediately? Are you going to build this huge marketing team around you? The likelihood, again, is no to any of those things. So I think my point is, it's not about having a product and a prototype and a patent. It's about having all the armament that you need around you to have created something that your market wants. I know that you want it because you went through the trouble of patenting it and creating a prototype. Does everybody else want it? That's the first thing you have to figure out before you go any further.
Perfect. Well, I think that actually...
So 2 greats and 2 perfects I got so far from you.
So I'm going to have to come up with new things to say after Fred's done with his.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, actually, you got lots of comments from people that they're really feeling what you're laying down here. I know we have a lot of partners in our chat with us, but we also have a lot of people who've never been with us, never been on a show with us. So
wait, are you saying they're picking up what I'm putting down?
They are. They're figuring you out. So I have a question, and you brought up manufacturing outside of the US. So this lines perfectly with this question as far as manufacturing a product outside of US. So I just thought maybe you could throw a little information towards Lewis over on YouTube.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. That's it.
That's right. Actually, earlier today, I was dealing with this incredible company that we hopefully are going to make a consumer version of their product for them. They actually manufacture everything in the US, but it's at a really, really high price point, and so they can afford to do that. Extraordinary product for a real elite section within a community that they serve. But most of the time, when you're dealing with consumer goods, you can't afford to make it in the United States, unfortunately. It can be double, triple, 4 times more to make it here in this country. And so China becomes the country of choice. Mexico, right across the border from us in San Diego, has a lot of great facilities, and some of the big US manufacturers go there for a lot of stuff, but even they often are not competitive with China or other Asian countries. So The default for me is to go overseas, and if I'm shocked pleasantly that there's an available resource here in the United States, then that's awesome. Caveat: if you have food and beauty products, things of that nature, things you put in your mouth or on your face and body, they usually are pretty good margin items, and people don't necessarily want to buy items like that from China or from other places that don't have the same quality view that we do. So depending on your product set, most of the time, yes, let's go overseas.
I'm not going to say perfect. I said it so quiet too. He heard me, guys. Oh my goodness. Actually, we have Kwame. Thank you. I see your comments over on the side, and there are so many resources that we have for people who are both partners and that are new entrepreneurs. So you asked about a tool for managing the product development from a standpoint of an entrepreneur. We have resources on our blog, ideapros.com/blog. There's all kinds of worksheets, things that you can follow along. You can watch our old shows. I happen to know that you have access to some tools that we have internally too, like talent cards and Fred's ebook. There's lots of things that can keep you busy while you're on the journey as a partner, as an entrepreneur. So check those out for sure. And then let us know if you have any questions, of course, on our Facebook, or let me know directly. So, okay, so Steve asks if there's an opportunity to cross promote with other IdeaPros products that are complementary.
Yeah, and I think that all the time. We're actually doing a couple of those things right now. We have now 4 different products that are in the sporting field, and I'm meeting with the CEO of a large marketing company that works specifically with crowdfunding. And we're going to bundle all 4 of those products as one offering that will help promote the audience, will allow our 4 entrepreneurs to get together and bundle their resources so that they can contribute at a higher level themselves. And I think that's a really cool thing to do. We have with Steve's product, the Eclipse sunscreen, which Steve and I are hoping to get out soon. We're having formulations made right now. And we've been dealing with an applicator company that is really solid. But we were looking at other opportunities as well. We have another product that may be very synergistic with that. And so anytime you can have 2 or 3, forget about IdeaPros. If you have 2 or 3 synergistic products with entrepreneurs that are just starting out, if there's a way to bundle those resources and make them available, then let's suppose each of you had $5,000 for marketing. Now you have a $15,000 budget for those same triumvirate of products that you're trying to sell. So you should always, regardless of whether you're working with IdeaPros or not, and you don't have unlimited financial resources, you should look at those synergistic opportunities to co-brand or to have a strategic relationship with others in a similar position as yours.
And if you have influencers, I mean, you don't just have to think in terms of other products that you could synergistically work with, but influencers, people who are in the audience, they're engaging with your audience all the time. They're a great asset for you, and you don't have to spend a lot of money to work with influencers. It's a common misconception. So you could. And there's a lot that will charge a lot. But, Anna, Paula, thank you so much for your question. And I know you missed the beginning. We did answer your question for you, so you can go back through the replay as soon as we're done with the live and see the answer that Fred gave you. So thank you. And we have a couple more questions. I know we're at the top of that. We're almost at the end of our show, so we wanted to squeeze these in. What are processes and techniques that are utilized for market research? This is from Winona. Thank you for submitting that, Winona.
Well, okay. Let me talk about marketing first, which Tessa you should be talking about it.
I won't go to you.
So fundamentally, you need to understand what marketing is. And there's two main components of marketing. So when you talk about marketing research, there's the strategic marketing part of it, right? And the strategic marketing is the down and dirty part that the consumer doesn't really see. They may feel it, but they don't really see it. And the strategic marketing part is, who are my competitors? How big is this marketplace? How am I going to penetrate this marketplace? How am I better than everybody else? Or how am I going to exploit their weak parts? Then, who is my audience? How am I going to take advantage of my audience? How am I going to make that audience want me over everybody else? How am I going to turn that audience into these passionate advocates of my brand instead of just a customer that could go anywhere else, right? Apple. Everybody has Apple. Congratulations, you're in prison. Every single thing you do is Apple oriented. Your Apple Watch, your Apple phone, your Apple computer, your damn music. Everything is really controlled by them. And by the way, you love being in prison. You're a passionate advocate of that Apple brand. People argue with me all the time about Apple. And I've become a passionate advocate of Apple stock. So I'm doing well with that, but that's the only Apple product I own. Another good example from the strategic marketing that then shifts into marketing communications, which is the customer facing part, is how do you take a value and turn that into a perceived value, right? Apple did that. You go in, you buy a computer, you can buy a PC that has exactly the same capacity, maybe even more than a comparable Apple product. You'll pay $1,000 more for the Apple product. The best example of that is water and a coffee bean. Okay, water and coffee beans. You go to Starbucks and you spend $3 or $4 for coffee.
It's closer to 6.
You can walk across the street for 99 cents at 7-Eleven and get water and coffee beans that are this big compared to this big. You're spending close to 4 times more at Starbucks. You're spending that because of the perceived value that you have. And that perceived value became generated because of the strategic marketing positioning of that company, who analyzed the market and found people don't want a cup of coffee. They want a place to go. People don't want coffee beans. They want a place where they can congregate, meet with other people, and feel kind of cool, and hang out with their computer and look for a job, or else do their homework, right? So they focused on the experience instead of the beans. And that's why you pay more to go there. The opposite side of that, the marketing communication side of it, is how do you express that to your consumer? How do you express your value? And so if your research that you're talking about is based on the consumer and how do I address my audience, then it's really understanding what they're all about. Who are they? Where have they gone before I existed? What have been their really bad experiences, and how can I turn them into really good experiences with me, right? What better way to attract an audience than find out what they hate about your competitors, right? So think about it this way. You have 3 giant competitors and you're this tiny little company. What are you going to do? Are you going to compete on all the strengths? You're going to look at all the 5-star reviews that these multi-billion-dollar companies have, and you're going to say, well, I can make things as good as they can. Now you're competing against their strengths, right? So your marketing communication starts with the strategic side of understanding where the weak spots are, because their customers hate them because of these things. And you make that your entire company. Hey guys, well, I have this company that has all these things that you want to love, but you hate about where you are now. And so you find what that is, you find those pain points for the customers, and then you communicate those pain points repeatedly, clearly, and in a way that's going to draw them in, and then give them an experience like they've never had before. So those are the 2 types, and that's what you need to do fundamentally with any type of company you have. Understand your competitors, understand your customers. Kill your competitors, grow your customers.
We're very blessed to have a team that works on our research and really, really knows it and has that experience. So that's a good thing to have on your side is that team doing everything to find those exact, situations for you.
By the way, I know hearing me say this, you're probably thinking, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really good. It's the part that our partners hate the most.
It's true. It takes so long.
Why can't I get to make my damn product? What's going on? Why is it taking so long? You're learning how to slay dragons and conquer damsels in distress. Although you could say, what's a male version of damsel? You could say that, whatever that word is. But the reality is, if you don't do that hard work, you're going to have what I call the General Custer School of Strategy, where, how many Indians could there be over that hill? If you don't know General Custer, then you're in the wrong show.
Read that book that Fred recommended, right? The Art of War. Not in that one, but you'll get some of his analogies from there. So I know we have to wrap up, guys, but I wanted to let you know, I know there were more questions that we didn't get to. I am going to put the question and answer form in our chat. So if you have questions or this comes up later and you want to submit them early, we do a Q&A session with Fred or various team members throughout. About every month or so, we try to do one so you guys can get your questions answered. So submit them early. And also, if you need any topics covered that we're not covering, we'd love to find that out. So follow us, hit subscribe. We're here every Friday at noon Pacific time, and we'd love to see you guys live so we can engage. We've really, really enjoyed it. Before we leave.
Oh, yeah, now I got to say something smart.
Well, you're going to say that. You're going to say something smart. But before you leave, let me know if you guys have any golden nuggets you took away. There's an exciting takeaway from today's show. It helps us to know that we're doing this for a great reason. That's to help you guys. So let us know if you have any takeaways. And now you can say your final thoughts.
Well, I was just going to say that maybe we should, in the period of a month, maybe we should do a couple of Q&As. We always have this structured show, and I come on and pontificate. I think it's always better to just really answer the questions of people who are either in or considering entering into entrepreneurship, and really letting people be clear in knowing what they're getting into. And I think that can be part of what I say at the end here, and I say it every time I have a chance. It's not easy. And being an entrepreneur is one of the most difficult things you're going to find that you do in your life. There are no easy answers. There's no easy road. There's no easy pathway. Things that you think will take 6 months can take 2 years. They can take longer. You can go marching, and I have a perfect example of this one particular product that I think we finally found a solution for, that we're a couple years down the road, and our partner has rightfully been really happy, really mad, impressed with the speed, and depressed about the slowness of things. Welcome to entrepreneurship. You're creating something that doesn't exist. And what you want, whether you have a partner or whether you're going to go it alone, you want people around you that are going to go in those trenches, that are going to get up, that are going to run into those walls, patch themselves up, and run into those walls again. If you are an entrepreneur, you have to learn patience and you have to learn resilience. And if you don't have both of those things, and you don't have the drive to go along with it, you might as well just give up now, because it's not the world for you. It's not where you need to be. You're going to face failures. You're going to face delays. You're going to have frustrations, and you're going to be ecstatic, potentially all in the same day. So if you're not ready to get on the roller coaster, then just tear up your ticket and don't go there. If you are, then hang on, buckle in, and be prepared, because we'll go around the track many times.
Perfect. Well, I love your takeaway, Aziza. Know your know your customer, know your competition. Wonderful. And then we had a couple to thanks, Brandon, so much for your comment. Another great show. Thank you from Sean. You guys, we appreciate you, and we're glad to be here every week for you. We'll see you all next week.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. I'm going to go get lunch.